I'm Ashley Smashley, and in this video, we're going to talk about divine creation versus human creation. And I talk about this in a lot of my content. I want to explain it to you better using a real life example from my life. If you are new to my channel, you're going to want to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, because I promise you, we are just getting started over here, and your girl is going to blow up. You're going to want to be here to watch it all go down. So one of the concepts that I talk about in a lot of my videos is divine creation versus human creation. When you decide to surrender and you get on your divine path to unlock your infinite potential and you are manifesting your life in your highest timeline versus human creation, the efforts of the ego, right? Taking actions through the efforts of the ego, and you have an attachment to an outcome, and you have to work really hard to effort that reality into your existence. And I know this topic is like triggering for a lot of people because we as a society have been brainwashed into thinking that working hard makes us more valuable. Like the ego is always looking for these little hits of superiority and be like, oh, I work so hard for that, so that makes it worth it more. That makes it more valuable. And that's just an indication that you're operating from a conditional self-worth, that your self-worth is based on these external conditions like hard work. Hard work makes you more valuable. Setting and accomplishing goals makes you more valuable. That is all operating from an unworthy ego. So let me explain this to you using a real life example from my life. So in 2020, I decided that I was going to move to Las Vegas, right? And I got drugged while I was in Las Vegas. So I packed up and I left and I went to LA. I had $200 to my name when I went to LA. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just going to van life around LA for a little bit and figure it out. But when I got to LA, my friend who lived in LA but was from Michigan said, you can come to my house and stay here for a week. And she fed me organic, gluten-free meals every single night. She is like a gourmet chef. When I packed up and left her house, I had no idea where I was going or what I was doing, but I definitely had needs that needed to be met. Like I needed money immediately. I needed a source of income. I needed somewhere to stay. And I needed to feel safe and protected because I was literally traumatized from what happened to me in Vegas, and I was very scared to be living in my car by myself. So let's break this down. If you are a human who needs to get money immediately, have an additional source of income, find somewhere to live, and find like a man to feel safe and protected, how would you go about doing that from human creation? If I were going to go about that through the method of human creation, through action and effort to work hard, this is the way that I would go about that. So I would go on Craigslist and find a gig or something I could work immediately to bring in some money right away while I go and touch up my resume, and I would need to go to the gym and do my hair and makeup and get dressed up nice and go out and put my resume in, wait for an interview, and then you go to the interview and then you get the job and then you work hard and you save your money and then you get a place to stay. And if I needed a man to feel safe and protected, I would get on a dating site and start going on dates. That's a lot of action and effort, right? What advice would you give your friend that needed a job and needed a place to stay? You'd probably say, hey, you need to start putting in apps. You need to go on interviews. You need to do all of these things and save your money and get your own place to stay. That is action and effort of the ego. But when you surrender to your divine path to unlock your infinite potential and you get on your highest timeline, things will effortlessly manifest in your life. And let me tell you how this worked out for me. I left my friend's house in LA. Like I said, I barely had any money and I had nowhere to go and I was scared to death. So I leave my friend's house. I'm driving down the street looking for somewhere to post up and sleep in my car. And I heard turn into Walgreens. And oh, right ahead, there's a Walgreens. So I turned into Walgreens, right? I went in and looked at their chocolate selection and I didn't get anything, right? But when I came out, there was a pile of change on the ground. Not like a little bit, like a lot, right? So I bent down, I started to pick up the change. And then when I got done, I looked up, there was a man walking down the street. And I heard, go talk to that man. And I even took a step back and I was like, should I go talk to that man? And I directly heard, go talk to that man. So I said, excuse me. and he was smoking a cigarette, and I had quit smoking, but I was like so scared and stressed out. I was like, do you have a cigarette? And he pulled out his cigarettes. He gave me his last cigarette, and he's like, I'm staying at this hotel right here, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It was like when I first laid eyes on him, it was like his whole aura lit up, and I knew he was someone that was sent on my path for a reason. So anyway, I go back to his hotel, we get his dogs, we take the dogs for a walk on the beach, and then I'm like, look, I need somewhere to shower tomorrow. Can I come back here and shower? And he let me come back to his hotel room the next day and shower. And lo and behold, this man had a gig. He was about to go work painting a rock star's house. And he said he needed help and he would pay me. So boom, there right away, I have a source of income and I have protection, right? I'm staying with this man. He's great, okay? And I knew it was basically like love at first sight when I laid eyes on him, you know? So anyway, we're staying together, and then he has the opportunity to go to Arizona and remodel this whole apartment, right? So I go with him. We move in together. We're living in Arizona, remodel this apartment with him, and he's like basically supporting me the whole time. So immediately I have money, I have a source of income, I have somewhere to stay, and I have protection. All because I followed my intuition and I pulled into Walgreens. And then the change was on the ground to stall me, because if I would have walked out of Walgreens and just got in my car and drove away, I wouldn't have seen the man. I had bent down to pick up the change. It took me a minute because there was a lot of change. So this is what happens when you get on your divine path to unlock your infinite potential. You start manifesting effortlessly, right? You don't have to go out and put in all the hard work and actions that we normally think that you would need to do through human creation. So I wanted to differentiate the two between human creation and effortlessly attracting on your divine path to unlock your infinite potential. And I ended up being with this man for a few months before I left him, and it was definitely in a relationship that I needed to experience for my evolution. So when you are manifesting and you are on your divine path to unlock your infinite potential and you are on your highest timeline, it doesn't always look like you are on your highest timeline from the human perspective. You would think, oh, the highest, that would be like the best loving relationship with my soulmate, that, you know, whatever, that type of relationship. But this relationship helped me evolve into the person that I need to be to live out my infinite potential and to attract that soulmate, right? So I had one of the biggest, most profound energetic releases when I was with this man, and I had to decide to love him unconditionally. I told him from the beginning, you're not someone I see myself being with long term, but if you want to like do this thing together for a little while, we can do that, right? And he was cool with that. He knew this was temporary. But anyway, so in that moment, instead of trying to control him and manipulate him into changing into the man that I wanted him to be, I had to surrender and let go of control. And I had one of the biggest releases out of my heart when I decided I'm just going to unconditionally love this man instead of trying to change him. And towards the end, things got a little crazy. He started drinking every day, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. I had $0, right? So I decided I'm leaving him anyway. I packed up, and then the next day, from 3 different sources, I manifested like $1,200, right? Someone contacted me and said, do you need money? And they sent me $500. And then my friend sent me like $200. And then I got a refund for something I didn't even know, that I didn't think I was getting. It was like $400. So it was just like crazy how it all worked out. Literally 3 different things of money came to me in that day after I decided I'm leaving. I don't care. So you have to trust that you will be provided for when you're on your divine path to unlock your infinite potential, and make decisions as if you already have what you need. And trust your intuition, your gut instinct. You will be guided to the different people and the different places and everything that you need to evolve you into the version of you that can live out your infinite potential, and you can surrender control. That attachment to outcome, the ego has a desire, and then it attaches to this outcome. It says, I have to have this. I have to force this into reality. So I'm going to get up and take action every day to make this happen. And I have to work so hard. Don't you see how valuable I am now that I worked so hard and created my reality? That's the ego, okay? So surrender. Let go of all of that. Once you surrender and you realize you have unconditional self-worth, you don't need to validate your worth through working hard and accomplishing goals, then you can let all that go, okay? And you don't need all the material success to show and validate your worth to the world. You can just go along your divine path to unlock your infinite potential. And that is the real delayed gratification, right? Because I already know what's coming. I don't have any evidence of it in my physical life as it is, but I know it's coming. That's the gratification, right? You find gratification in the moment, in the knowing that what you're going through is evolving you into the person that you need to be to unlock your infinite potential. Instead of setting and accomplishing all these meaningless goals that the ego is going to send you on these wild goose chases and do all these things that don't matter. They just don't really matter. So when you decide that you are ready to get on your divine path and unlock your infinite potential, and that you are willing to detach from needing to control the outcome, and you start to follow your intuition, you will be guided. Okay, trust, you will be guided. You won't have to work so hard, and you can effortlessly manifest your reality. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.